Hi everybody, my name is Rachel from Daily Creations over on YouTube. I'm so excited that I was asked to be part of this summit because let's face it, around the Christmas season it gets busy and chaotic and it's always nice to get a head start. So I'm here to inspire you to get going on your crafts for the Christmas season. I have a few crafts in store for you all. We're going to do a card. We're going to use my laser cutter from xTool. And then we're also going to use our Cricut. So that way there's something for everybody in this video. Don't forget to stop over at YouTube and hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you'll be notified when my next video gets posted. I usually try to post at least 2 to 3 videos per week. I love to share my crafts with everybody and to inspire you as well. All right, let's go ahead and hop down to my craft table and let's get going. Let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is make a card. We're going to go ahead and stamp a couple things from the Penguin Friends from Pretty Pink Posh. I also have the coordinating dies. Now, I'll be honest, most of my Christmas stamps and dies are all packed away and they're not easily accessible. So I went ahead, luckily I had this out because I ordered it late, but I went ahead and used my Cricut to cut out the panel. Now this is not your traditional size for a panel because there's a reason why it's this size, and we'll talk about that here in a moment. So we'll come back to this, but use your Cricut if your stamps and dies are put away for the season and you want to and you're inspired to make some Christmas cards and you have a Cricut, use the Cricut. And to be quite honest, had I not had this out already, I probably would have used my Cricut to print out a penguin, and also I would color it in. So, but I already had it out, so I figured why not just use some stamps and then also use my Cricut to print this out. Okay, so I'm gonna bring out just a scrap little piece of paper that I have, and I'm not quite sure which penguin I will be using. So I'm actually going to stamp out 2 penguins that I'm interested in using, and we'll see which one will work the best. So it is this set here and then this one right here. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and condition it. If it's new, then you want to condition it. You can get a conditioner eraser for it, or you can just use your fingers. I'm using my Memento Tuxedo Black as I normally do when I do alcohol coloring. So I'm going to use my Copics. Okay, and then we'll just get that pressed down. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and double stamp that. Be careful with pushing too hard because you might blow it out like I did here. So I'm probably going to re-stamp that one. I don't like how that turned out. That's just the perfectionist in me that's not liking how that's looking. So I'm going to go ahead and re-stamp it, and then we'll see which of the 2 I like the best. I think I like this better, but I don't like how this stamped out, but I like how this stamped out better than this one. So I'm going to color all of it. I'll just do one on camera. Let me bring my markers over. Okay, so I will be sure to list this in the description for you all so you know all the Copics that I'm using. So let's go ahead and zoom in. And I'll color this one off camera. I love having options. I probably do way more than I need to. That's just the nature of the business when it comes to card making. I always like to have backups. So I will turn on some music and go ahead and get to coloring, and we'll see how this turns out. that all nice and colored. Now I do have that other one. I'm going to go ahead and do that one again. I'm going to go ahead and color this one. Same process and same color of Copics that I will be using, and then I'll get this all dyed cut out, and then we'll get to making the card. Went ahead and die cut the two that I think worked out the best. So I have those all die cut out, and I am going to bring in from Simon Says Stamp Scallop Stitches. I'm going to bring in this one, and then also from Simon Says Stamp Stitch Slopes and Hills, and we're going to use one of these. I think it's going to be this one that we're going to create a nice little slope, if you will. So we'll use that, and then I have some glitter cardstock that I bought from Michael's. We're also going to bring in some blush. I think this is blush, or I'll have to look at it, but this is from Spellbinders. And then of course my 80-pound cardstock. And again, this font here is actually from Canva, so I don't think I can list it. I'll try to list it in the description area. And I just also have, we're going to do top folding card, so I went ahead and scored that. So we have 11 by 4 1/4, and I scored it at 5.5, so that is all done. And we're just going to go ahead and put the panel to the side, and then we'll do some die cutting. I think that's pretty well on point, so I'm going to tape the parts that I'm going to get rid of. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to run that through my die machine. I'll be right back. Okay, lifting that part up, and it did beautifully. I love it. And this is why I like to bring in my, if you've been around my channel, or if you go to my channel, you'll see that I love mixing Cricut with traditional stamps and dies, and because you can't get this nice little detail like you can in using your dies. That's what I love to do. Went ahead and just measured it. The C-square was not working out the way I wanted it to, so we'll just put some tape down so this doesn't shift. And I'm just using some washi tape, and then of course I'll have to trim down that bottom once I kind of figure out, you know, how much I need. Now what I'll do is I will get this part. You know what? Let's trim this down first. I don't know if this is, what size is this size? Not quite 4 1/4, so we'll just trim this down to 4 1/4. All right, so we'll do that. We'll flip that over. Just takes a little bit of engineering to get this kind of figured out. So, whoop. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right. We'll put that to the side. So here's that piece there. Okay. Here we go. So what we're going to do, I have an piece of acetate that I have cut down to 4 1/4. I'm not sure the length, and it doesn't really matter because it's going to get covered up. And I am going to add some liquid glue to this. So let me put that there. Then I will plot that right at the bottom. Okay. And if I need to trim the top, I can always trim the top. The main thing is I want to make sure there's enough room for that. Okay, next thing we'll do is we will trim down our panel. So I'm going to trim down 1/4 inch. Okay, now what I want to do is I need to get my little snow trimmed down as well. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add our snowbanks. I went ahead and did another one, like the reverse when I cut this. I went ahead and trimmed that down so I can kind of do a layered look. Thought that would be super cute to do. And now I'm just adding some super glue. Now, if you want this card to be completely dimensioned, you can add dimension in between the snowbanks. You can add dimension to this. I was originally going to do that, but I'm thinking I'm not going to. I'm just going to kind of keep it pretty flat and pop up my penguins and then the base itself. Okay, so I think that's the plan, at least. You could make this into a shaker card, and that would be super cute too. And don't get me wrong, I thought about it. I'll go ahead and put my block on there to kind of add pressure. And then we'll bring that back in. And we will sandwich those together like so. Okay. This is going to take a minute for it to grab because we're gluing on from the acetate, and also we're gluing on to glitter cardstock, so it's going to take a minute to adhere. So I will be right back. In the interim, I'm going to hold this down for a minute, but I'm also going to add some foam squares to the back of this, and I'm going to add a foam panel to the back of that. All right, I went ahead and glued that down. I will say that the glue had a hard time adhering to that glitter. I might have to reinforce it somehow, but it's good for right now. And I added a foam panel to the back, and just to give it a little boost of dimension. And then I added some foam squares to the back. I already took the release paper off using my reversed tweezers, and I'm going to plot that out right there. Perfect. Love it. And then just to add a little something to it, I'm going to add my stickles, my crystal stickles, and just adding a little bit of sparkle to those earmuffs. And then also to the hat. And she's done. Oh my gosh. This is so cute. This is getting me really excited to do more Christmas card making because come on, look how adorable that is. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's go ahead and get into a laser cut. Okay, let's go ahead and get into a laser cut project for Christmas. Okay friends, we are now going to go ahead and move into a laser cut file. I have this blank that I got from Michaels, and I like to reuse my blanks. So I don't know if I'm sure they still have a blank like this available. And what I went ahead and did is used my xTool M2 Color Craft laser to cut out Joy to the World, and you can kind of see how it's pieced together. And you can imagine that this is going to take some time for alignment, or for first of all to paint it, then to align it to the blank. And so I like to try to, because we don't have all the time in the world to be doing that, what I did was I went ahead and cut this out. This came in a slightly bigger size, so I'm going to keep, so what I did is I cut it out, and then I cut out a square so I can use this as a jig, if you will. So when I'm done, I can just put this in here, and I can just get this straight. So I don't have to worry about getting this straight and centered. And then I can glue my pieces. Another thing is, because I don't have all the time in the world to paint, and to be quite honest, I do not like to paint. So I'm going to be using some acrylic markers to paint this, or to color as it were. Okay, so because of the time that I have available for this video, I'm going to go ahead and color this off camera. I'll do a little bit on camera just so you can see the process, and I'll speed that up, but then I'll do the rest off camera. I went ahead and colored all of them. Now I will say I probably did 2 coats of each one, and it turned out beautifully. I'm telling you, if you don't like to paint, especially these tiny pieces, and especially if you're going to leave the sides exposed, get yourself some good set of acrylic markers. I will be sure to have this listed in the description. I'm going to take it a step further, and I'm actually going to add UV resin to each one to give it a shine. So I'll just do one on camera. So I'll just move everything to the side. And again, I just want to take it a step further, and I'm just going to add a little bit, work in pieces. And I have this little thing that I can spread the resin. I do have other like silicone tools, but I think this is what I first grabbed. So again, I'm just going up to the edge and pushing that resin to the edge of my letters. I think that's good, just looking at the edges. Sometimes looking at it different angles helps, and I think that looks good. So then I'm going to gently have this go under here, and then I'm going to cure that for about 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, so here is this one, what this one looks like. Isn't that pretty? Now, I got some blemishes on there. I'm not exactly sure what happened, if it was too thin there, but I'm still gonna go with it. And it almost looks like it was cut out acrylic. I love it. Okay, so I have a lot to do. This is gonna take a lot of time. This did take, and this UV resin is from Hobby Lobby, so this did take like 5 minutes to cure, not 2 minutes. I would do additional time, test yours obviously, and see what works best. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this done off camera. I will be right back. As mentioned before, I went ahead and in the xTools software, I went ahead and made sure that this Joy to the World was centered along this piece, and so I can use it as a little jig to help placement. Now, I will say I accidentally did both of my O's backwards. It's going to fit better this direction than it is this direction. So we're going to have to, you know, kind of use it, but kind of not use it because it's not going to fit. Now, use some glue that I used for card making because I don't want to use my, I don't want to use hot glue. It just, to me, hot glue works a little bit too quick for me. Okay. Now, of course, you don't have a laser cutter. This file still works. Let me just move that there. It still works as an SVG, so you can put it through your Cricut, your Silhouette, your Cameo, whatever you use for your die cutting. There we go. I'm just going to push that down. I just realized how high that is. Okay. Let me just make sure everything looks good. That glue will dry clear, so we won't have any problems with it. Once it glues down pretty well, I'm going to run some rubbing alcohol on it to clean it up with all my fingerprints, and then this is going to be good to go. Oh my gosh, I love this. This is the first time that I use my xTool M2 for a Christmas project, and let me tell you, this is just the very beginning. Okay, let's move into our final project, which we'll be using some vinyl to create another wall decor. We're doing something a little special here. I want to use this glitter cardstock. However, I don't want to try to align everything. So my idea was to cut it out with some vinyl and then glue this onto the vinyl. We'll see if it works. Now, I had only a 6x6 of this glitter cardstock, so this was slightly larger than 6x6, so I pieced 2 pieces together. I think I can still marry those two without it being too noticeable that the S is broken apart, but we'll see, right? We got to use with what we have. I want to use my scraps, and we'll be fine. Have some transfer tape on there, but before I peel that back, I want to, this has been sitting in my craft room or in my craft stash for a while, so I want to try to remove any dust or oils that I have from handling it and just sitting there. So you always want to remove that. I'll transfer this. There you go. Alrighty, almost there. Perfect. Alrighty, bringing that in. I'm going to go ahead and stand up. I normally sit down and craft, but I think I need to stand up just so I can see this a little bit better. And I'm going to try to find a center. Looks good. Scrape that down. And again, this is cute on its own. So if you want to stop here, you most certainly can. But this is going to serve as a template to glue down my cardstock. Got it. That looks super pretty as it is. Okay. And I think this is going to glue down just fine. So I think we're going to be just fine adding that on there. So you can see how well this really helps. This is just an extra step that I sometimes like to take, not always, yeah, because it's not gonna move, so I figured it would work just fine. Again, this is just a step that I personally like to take. I don't always take this step. If it's an easy thing to lay down, then, you know, not a problem, but it's, to me, this is a lot, and I'm not good with trying to get things straight. So this is why I thought I would just do this way. Okay, that actually went on pretty easy, a lot easier than I anticipated. Again, like I said, I left the little white pieces of snow alone, so I didn't add any glitter vinyl to the, or glitter cardstock. Now, again, you could use glitter vinyl and be done with it, but I don't have any in this, and I absolutely love how this looks on this black background. So this is exactly what I wanted, and so there's that idea. Hopefully you gained some inspiration, and hopefully that will help you out in your next craft project when you are trying to align things. Okay, well, that is all I have for you in today's video. Let's go ahead and bring in all of the crafts that we did to see them as a collective. Well, here they all are. We have 2 wall decor pieces, and then we have our card. I just loved how everything turned out. I am dying to know which craft project is your favorite, and I have to say my favorite is this one. It is so fun. I definitely need to practice on adding resin because I do have some blemishes in some areas, but overall this turned out so adorable. I mean, really all of these craft projects turned out beautiful. So all right, well, again, be sure to check out my channel, Daily Creations, on YouTube. That's DALY Creations, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my mommy's channel. Bye bye.